Fuck them numbers. I wanna celebrate the magicalness of the brother. So one of the songs went, "Hey there, lonely girl, lonely girl. There's a lonely boy with a lonely heart for you too. Many guys have come to you with the lies that aren't true, and you pass them by, pass them by. Now you're in the center ring, and their lives don't mean a thing. Why don't you let me try? Let me try. Now I do wear diamond rings, and all I have a song to sing. All I know is la 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 means I love you. He said, listen to me now. La 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 means I love you. Give a fuck what these numbers say when it was this time. Motherfuckers say it's genius. Alright, y'all know. Many guys have come to you with some lines that aren't true. Oh, I love that stuff. All right. May the power of blue argonite propel you. May the power of blue argonite propel you. May the power of blue argonite propel you. And we send the Verge. I send the Verge out to everyone. His energy is for everyone to use. We are all the thunderbolt. We all have the capacity to light up the thunderbolt and use it as our energy source. We also give you the energy of the diamonds. We give you the power to refract. And the full energy of the Verge, baby. We give you the full energy of it for you to use. Let it be your energy source. We give you the mantra for those who are brave enough to try to go in it. We give you the virgin sound. Because I give freely. Before I forget, so I know why these witches was messing with me. Okay, you two witches, I know y'all can't keep pots going. You two witches that's been doing this bullshit to me, y'all can't keep these pots going. That's why. Y'all can't keep a candle consistently burning, y'all can't do the pots. That is why. Okay, I was wondering why y'all was messing with me. I'm like, why is these witches messing with me? But anyway, welcome to the Chocolate Mountain Show. I am your super funky host, Big Pontiac. I'm also the holder of the infinite sacred ball game created by the Hero Twins. And I am your one and only galactic daddy of welcoming each and every one of the courageous chocolate mountaineers that come on my patio, that reaches from Minnesota to the infinity. So welcome. And tonight we are doing it big again. And you're just going to really wish you were me sitting here with Moose Lake, Minnesota, Moose Lake Brewery Company, Red Axe Irish Ale. And as I open that can, you know nothing but freshness. So pop them if you got them. And I have the Killian's mug or barrel mug. And you don't. And look at that beautiful redness that only an Irish red could give you. This ain't no Budweiser, baby. And don't you wish you were me right now having this Killian ambrosia. And definitely on the herb. Definitely on the herb gummies. So smoke them if you want them. Welcome y'all tonight. Thank you for supporting the short show yesterday. Try to make up. I ain't gonna make up too goddamn much. I'm tired. It's hard being a old man in America. It's hard being a young man in America. Yeah, PJ and I was talking, but I saw that the one geometry dude that's opposite Zach or whatever you call it. Y'all know his name. But you know, LeBron, the 42, I made a little video on it. I guess I ain't gonna release it now. I ain't biting nobody's information, but when I saw it, I thought I instantly saw the same thing. I'm like, wow. When will they ever stop coding? Or is this, you know, they're trying to set up the LeBron thing already? And that's what you have to be aware of is they set their scenes early. So is that what they're doing with him? Is they're telling you early that his determination, you know, he's back into playing the street ball. That's some good stuff. So that's kind of what it is. That's anybody can play with a group of dudes that ain't gonna knock you down. So this PJ like hit me up and what I said. I was like, look like Globetrotter basketball. Thank you, man. Yeah, this is that what are they called? Killer acid. Yeah. Killer acid for real. Thank you. Green Vision. Did you see the Brittany Griner 42 shaming in the WNBA? I did not see that today, but I know that G7. I know that she wears 42. I know they were showing her the other day. They were showing her in her uniform. As I said before, she worth more to Russia than she worth here. She making about 14 over there. They'll probably let her hoop and stay in jail. Won't be surprised. Let her hoop and just stay over there. They gonna get a butcher up. Well, what did he do? He killed about 30, 40 people in his munition smuggling. What did Brittany do? Well, I just brought in some hash, hooping. I want to feel good. The Russian Advil ain't working so well, so I had to bring me some good shit over here. But yeah, I've seen that from the very beginning. I mean, that has never not been in the league. As I said, this has been a secret kind of mark for them. I found something probably the 20s or 30s from the Dominican Republic where the team was called the 42s. Everybody had 42 in the front of their uniform. I think I still got it on Pinterest somewhere. But the name of the team was the 42s. So if you don't think that's something, they ain't just doing that that long ago. Ain't nobody just said, well, you know, we're the 42nd, whatever. We're going to just call you the 42s. No, no. It has been a stamp. And I do, you know, thankful that the gematria dudes woke that up in everybody. Hats off to y'all. Right on. But I still say the same thing. Every story ain't worth going after. Like the brother for the Delphonics. Why do y'all need to do a story about that if you ain't going to do a story about his singing? I don't hear your bullshit letters. Well, the perfect day. So that's all you got to say about this motherfucker. This motherfucker is just the ritual. We know they die in ritual deaths. But that's all you got to say. Is it that he's affected by the numbers? Get the fuck out of here. Yeah, I saw that. And in that picture, all the players had 42. Yeah, that picture. You know, I was trying to look at the officer in the back because it's a brother, it's an officer, and I'm just saying before World War II, but I was saying that the picture probably just the dress was probably the 30s. Well, yeah, everybody named the 42, so that's a thing that they use. That's a coding they use. But every story that comes across ain't worth investigating, ain't worth breaking down. And again, you want to talk about our people, and all you got to say, well, they died on the perfect day. Okay. Well, who was he? What did he do that made him special that they had to do this to him? Mention that too. Don't just say the song is something sterile. Shit came out, it wasn't sterile. The shit came out, it was shit. You don't think motherfuckers love that shit? All I know is la la la. Come on. That's the vibration. So you got to mention all that. With that, you know, you got to mention that this was special to us at one point. That's all. So we asked for. We asked for a little respect when you talk about these people. Why? The why. Well, you know, it says here he had a hit say la la lay 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 or LA love you. That was his hit. You know how these mugs be sounding. They be sounding like that, you know. Well, it's today we see a name and he was part of the history of music and here's his day. Okay. Could be. But what made him great? You know, what made them have to do this? What did he do? Well, he just had this song called LA Love You. Okay. He wasn't in the vibration when it came to us and when it was released to us. It means a little more than that. And then when he went on his own and sang, Hey there, lonely girl. I'm pretty sure that's him too. Could be wrong, but I think that's the same cat. You know, all in the lands of the Great White North is pretty good. Pretty good. Everything is smooth. Everything is working the way it should work. And everything that's within range gets handled. Hey, Magbone, what's happening? Thank you for joining me. And since the mother Brett Magbone, the Jaguar Priest, is in, we got to give the energy of the transformation. We put the transformation energy out there. That's what this is. This is the oldest American transformation. And I mean, you don't. Some of you won't have the ability to shapeshift, but it gives you the logical of the transformation of the panther senses, of using more senses than there's just the base ones you have, using many of your senses. But we give you also the energy and the fractal that might be more comfortable to you. We give you the ball player priest. We give you whoever this great man was in his representation of being part of the hero twins, ball players. So we push that energy out to you too. All right. This is easier fractal for you to handle when we give you this too. And whenever you need to wear the sacred helmet and the face mask. Hey, James, what's happening? Thank you for watching. Oh, yeah, it's just been lovely up here. It's hot. It's going to be hot the next 3-4 days. It's going to be like high 90s. I think the whole country is feeling it. So, I'm great. Got to play a little pickleball today, depending on the weather tomorrow. Probably gonna pickleball tomorrow too. Might hit the lake up, do a little grounding. So not gonna go too terribly long tonight. Didn't get a whole lot of sleep last night. And that's very hard on an old man. But when old man has young man activities, you just don't get very much sleep. So that's all right too. That's all right too. Every man has his day. It's good for all men to have their day. You did? So Twins won today, didn't bet. Baseball this time of year is too unpredictable. I saw the Yankees must have won because they was up 10-1 up into the sixth inning. There's quite a bit of baseball left when I quit watching, so no Canadian football. Surprising. The Loon, our soccer team, that place was packed. That place probably hold 40, 50,000 people. It was packed. The goal of the teaching of the sacred ball game is the attainment of body, mind, mastery. And I would say spiritual, which would go into mind. But it's knowing that not just your work and your effort, but it's just you can look at your effort as almost something sacred to you because it helps push you through this thing, whatever it is. So whatever your effort takes you. That's what it is. That's all the understanding. Is make the effort and work with people. Don't make people your enemies. I mean, your enemies is gonna be enemies, but everybody ain't got to be your enemy. I mean, they changed it where at one time a general led from the front. Well, they kind of changed it and say, well, the general need to move the parts around. I say, do a compromise. I want to move when the general move. If the general ain't going to be in the front anymore, I want to move where he moving around. And I don't think, like this is a great study. If you want to do any study of history, if you want to try to tap into something, see if you could be a general. See if you could really lead troops. I mean, you reading about all these wars, but how would you act? How would you act? Mike Tyson said everybody got a plan until they get punched, but you can still have a plan after you get shot at. Just because you get shot at and bombed don't mean you don't still have your plan to still do it. How many people can go forward? And that is a great experiment to try to see how you would respond in that situation. I mean, hell, you're in these video games doing all this shit. Put some situation to see of historical significance how you would have handled it. I ain't saying, you're on a sunken ship and what you're going to do. No, I'm not going to bedazzle you. I'm not trying to bedazzle anybody, I'm saying, how would you have handled that situation? That's all. I think the ultimate video game should be the video game let you be Hitler. Or let you be Eisenhower and all them. See how you would handle that. Because I'll be damned if I had everything Hitler had. Damn if I would have lost. Damn if I would have lost. They still would have been throwing it up for me. Been pictures of Big Pontiac in your house and on TV and everywhere. Everything would be Big Pontiac. Put my name on everything. Put my name on everything. Your children would start the day, hey, we hope Big Pontiac is well. I think that's a good way to start the day. People would cheer in bars and they would cheer the Big Pontiac. Right on. In return, I would not have to go to war. Get the money, though. Definitely get the money. So what's going on with everybody? North Korea. Well, self-actualization is the father of a healthy, productive life. Emojis of the sacred ball game. There you go. North Korea. I'm glad you brought that up because there was some stuff I had thought about before because, we have fought China before. Now, remember, China got fucked up easily by Japan. One city, they raped and murdered almost 300,000 people, roughly 20 some thousand troops with air support and ship support, definitely artillery. They were able to take these people, but um, MacArthur was right when they attacked us in North Korea when we were near the Yellow River. MacArthur was right. That's why they don't have any atom bombs because MacArthur said just drop the bombs on them. You never got to worry about these people ever again. They're exposed. They're out in the open. You guys got this stuff that kills people out in the open. Just drop them over there. And they couldn't do it. Now, not only they couldn't do it, they fired him. So we have fought those people recently. The reason why North Korea stands is because of China. So now, as I said before, do not be fooled by these people. I think the best example they gave you was the man in the high castle. As I said before, these people will lose in the Pacific Fleet and give China the West Coast and say how terribly we got beaten everything. You can't believe that won't happen because it could. If they lost, it would be on purpose because they want to let them come over here and enslave people and make people suffer and brutalize people. I don't play, but my son plays. So my sons play. So yeah, I don't play, but my sons play. Ricky. Yeah, but I don't play. My son plays. The one who sticks his face and walks about a video all the time. He plays. So, but I don't play. I used to buy them. Made a deal with him, and he turned the deal into a video game. My fellow moderators in the chat, peace and many blessings of the Black Jaguar be upon from the Jaguar teacher, Macbone. Thank you to give that all. The games look real. Oh, I tell you what. Since my son built his computer with his Xbox, he connects the computer, the PC up to the game. You can see that the graphics look a lot different. The graphics are a lot better. So I'll be able to see that. Yeah, they do look real. They do look real. That's why I said that's if really, I'll give this out in the metaverse. That's like that's Westworld. Westworld could kind of give you that. Remember where the original movie of Westworld with Yul Brynner, you pretty much say, hey, I want to be Hitler for these couple weeks and I want to see what I can do. And that's what Westworld would put that all around you. And it would let you, whatever you're going to do, you're going to be able to do it to a certain point, however much money you paid for the experience. I mean, to tell you how phony everything is they did this thing called the Cold War. Russia built a bridge, they built a wall, wouldn't let the people because more people wanted to live in the East than they wanted to live with them. Wasting all that money, super spies going back and forth. If they weren't really wanted to fight, they could have fought. Patton said, we got all these tanks and everything. Let's go fight them now. So you didn't have to do all that covert stuff that they did in the 40s, 50s, 60s, 70s, and 80s. Waste of money. China also secretly fought against Vietnam by supporting proxy war. Yeah, China was a proxy war. As I said before, the rail lines ran from China to Vietnam. That is how China supported them. Hamping port, when they finally went to peace, Nixon straight up, when they rejected the peace offer, Nixon said, I'm going to blow up those train lines that go from China, so China can't send SAM missiles in, and Russia can't bring stuff through the port. I'm going to mine the port. Why couldn't they have done that in the beginning of the war? Because it was suggested that both things be done. But the Americans were like, oh, we don't want to make the Chinese mad or upset. I'll tell you what, though, the French got fucked up in Vietnam. Look at that battle. Deep in few. Look how the French got fucked up. The French put themselves in a bowl, and the motherfucking uh, North Vietnamese army put artillery all around them and bombed them. And as they after a while, the French lost the airport and everything. But it was like stupid as hell. They was so happy to go put themselves in the fishbowl. They just knew they could, but without the reconnaissance of knowing, they circled you and they bombing you, and you lost your airstrip very early in the war. Didn't fool. Look that battle up. French got fucked up. General Giap. But understand, even the North Vietnamese is the same thing. You see them doing the same signs, sacrificing people. It's the same kind of thing. I don't know how you guys feel, but I would take a high over wealth any day. Get me high over some wealth any day. Because I feel that getting me high will help me get wealthy. The metaverse. It's all a game for the 2%. Why Durant jumping from team to team? I don't know. They're making him like a journeyman for some reason. The metaverse is also mentioned and talked about. Anime called Sword Art Online. And, now they want you to invest in the metaverse. They want you to invest in these digital properties. Yeah, it used to be a French colony at the end of World War II. Yes and no. Yes and no. As technically, the Japanese took Vietnam. The Japanese took Vietnam from the Dutch. And so after World War II, the Dutch weren't strong enough to go back in and hold it. And so the French stepped in because even though the Dutch, was kind of over the Dutch Indies, I think they called it, but the French always had a stronghold in North Vietnam, Hanoi especially. And that tells you it's so fake because the French was at the capital. And the aim of any war is to take the capital. So remember when it came to taking the capital, they went to Sudan's capital, didn't they? But they wouldn't go to the capital in Vietnam, just dropping bombs on this shit. No, that's not the aim. The aim is to put troops, or as they popularly say, boots in the capital. That is the aim of war. You put boots in their capital to take their capital. Not have dudes running around in the jungle aimlessly on property you don't mean to hold. As I said many times, when I talk about Hamburger Hill, that hill, I almost know the name of the hill because the hills around there all got numbers, but that hill, they took more than 3 or 4 times, killing people on both sides. So you see, it was the same way on both sides. Sacrifice people. We don't care. They say over 2 million people got killed in Vietnamese. Soldiers, civilians. That's devastating to a country like that. But again, the people ain't the assets. States like that. People ain't the assets. And they know once America came out that the whole country lost a lot of money. Because you don't think the North was benefiting from American money being there? You don't think the black market was benefiting the North too? So do you see the lies they tell you? Why is it when you see war, you see companies be at the war? Everybody talking about Halliburton and Cheney, head of Halliburton, but people don't go back and look. In 1947, the Bush family bought Halliburton. And it's controlled it ever since 1947. They bought it out of bankruptcy. The Bush family. Yeah. So when they tell you Cheney ran it, yeah, okay. He was only running it. He wasn't the one that founded it. Duran just playing his script. Yeah, he is. After 9/11, question everything. I think even up to then, you had to question everything too. Because our government has its hand in so much of our culture. You know, our government took away hip hop and called it rap. They took away where the natural hip hop was evolving into conscious, positive self destruction, where it was that ear to say, hey, think about killing, killing each other instead of the real enemy. You don't own them streets out there. You don't own that block. So indeed, always question everything and go back and look at the history they tell you and question the history they tell you. That's the biggest one. Because the history is, we find so many lies in the history that just doesn't make sense. And then, okay, who was the money behind this decision? You know, how did people that were dirt poor after the Civil War all of a sudden come up with these weapons that they couldn't afford? I've been questioning everything since 91. Drill music is a good example. Well, I mean, of course, they would attack you with your old music. And then his brother Jonathan, Infinite Consciousness puts out there, it's uh, uh, rap is the most dangerous thing for our people. Yet sports ain't the old way. I mean, really, if you really look at Jackie Robinson, baseball was the way of getting out of poverty. That's what Jackie Robinson kind of did. Others that played in the Negro Leagues, it was a way of getting out of poverty. And the one person was saying that boxing was a way of getting out of poverty, but you had people, as I mentioned, you had people like Cassius Clay at the time, both parents was middle class, but could afford boxing lessons for both of their sons. So these people ain't from poverty. So that has to be considered. That has to be considered. Do you? I'll tell you, the best All-Star game I ever watched, I think it was 71. I want to say Hank Aaron got up and hit a home run. I want to say Willie Mays didn't hit a home run. Reggie Jackson did what only Babe Ruth had done before. Reggie Jackson hit a home run in Tiger Stadium. He had technically hit it out, but they had lights on top of the stadium. He was him and Babe Ruth was the only ones to put a baseball up in these damn lights that held the ball in the stadium. So that was the greatest, to me, All-Star game. Bo Jackson had a nice throw-in one. But other than that, like when they had the All-Star game here, I was in my backyard, and they had the Blue Angels flew by the crib, shook the whole crib. I was just sitting there, and I heard the shit. I was like, what the fuck is this shit? And that shit, that air compressed, because I'm reading the damn letters on the jets. These jets was hovering the ground so low. Coming or going, I can't remember if they was coming or going from Target Field for the All-Star game. And I blew it. Shit, when All-Star game was here and Derek was here, they did a parade of all of them. They did a couple parades. So I was living on the north side then. So I've always watched them. They ain't no big deal. I think it's stupid to say, because it's an exhibition game. All All-Star games are exhibition games. And it's stupid to say who gets home advantage to try, because teams wasn't really trying, because it's a waste. I mean, one All-Star game instead, we done used everybody, that's game. That makes sense. That makes sense. Why keep it going? It's an exhibition game. Why hurt people? But I enjoy them. I usually watch them. I listen to old R&B, funk from the 60s, 70s, the old Motown hits from 67, and the old James Brown. Yeah, me too. I've talked about that many mornings. My thing right now is Dave Brubeck, his quintet, Son, I'm Your Conscious, Joe, More and More. Joe, I'm in love, round and round I go, out of control, I'm in love. I love that by Joe. I like Joe. I'm trying to think it. My nemesis, Anita Baker. I would beat up Anita Baker. She's embarrassed me so much in my life. I'll tell you guys what, if I ever am able to put it all together, I would beat up or put a hit on Anita Baker for embarrassing me more than once. So, but I still love her music. Angel is probably my all-time favorite song. No, the vibration is not the same. I mean, that's where Prince and Michael Jackson really suffered. They suffered from rap. They didn't suffer from hip hop. They suffered from rap because they made their music obsolete and they was putting rap in the forefront. All the concentration, all the publicity wasn't on Prince, wasn't on musicians anymore. It was on rap, not necessarily hip hop. Conscious hip hop was still hip hop. And remember, hip hop was everything, the dance and everything. And that's something that Michael Jackson did a little more than Prince was a part of hip hop, was still the dance. I mean, hell, Bollywood still use Michael Jackson dance thing. They've made a whole industry out of Michael Jackson's group dance. I mean, this is going on, the Bollywood group dance is what, 30 years? That probably more than that they've copied what Michael Jackson made famous. So, I mean, music, as I said before, music moves and music can remove. So that's what you got to remember. It can move and it can remove. And that's how you should really look at music. I mean, music, different times for different moods, of course. But thank you guys for coming. Thank you for the ones that watched yesterday. I'm sorry it was so short, but I was moving around. Kind of forgot about doing this, and so didn't have my stuff with me. Oh yeah, let's look at this. Yes, a hit on Anita Baker. Definitely a hit on Anita Baker. You guys better hope all this don't work. One day you see her, a piano would fall on her. Like cartoons, she'd be walking and the piano would just come out of nowhere. Yeah. Prince is overrated. Yeah, you ain't seen Prince live. You have not seen Prince live if you think that brother's overrated. I didn't see Jimi Hendrix. I've studied Jimi Hendrix, but I ain't never seen him. I've seen Prince. And I have not seen a better musician than Prince. Not even Rick James was a better band leader, I think, than Prince, but he wasn't a better musician. Arguably singer, I think Prince had a better range. Prince had a big range. So I don't think so. I don't think Prince was really overrated. I mean, Prince was in the fuckery with the ass cheeks out, am I straight or gay controversy. He played the system, no doubt. No doubt, he played the system. But as far as the entertainer, and I mean, he played the system so much where he felt he had to wear heels because he was so short. Something that destroyed his hips, destroyed his legs, because he could dance in that shit. But I've never, and I've seen Kenny G, David Sanborn. I've seen a bunch of musicians, but none better than Prince. None better than Prince. And I saw the guy with the system, best keyboard player, computer by far, the best ever. But just pure musician and guitar player, definitely. I've never saw it. Well, I did see Michael Hampton. Michael Hampton, hell of a guitar player. Do you think he was gay? I don't know. I think he played a role. I heard some shit. I heard some shit last night of his drug use. It was like some real shit, some real shit about his drug use. Motherfuckers that knew him. I'm like, damn, I didn't know he was like that. So, he was the same thing that everybody was. When that stuff was out there, motherfuckers was on it. So I don't know, Danny. I don't know. He had Jill Jones and he had what's her name? Vanity. I've seen Rick James live at the Riverfest in Little Rock. back in '04. No, I saw Rick James in '79. I saw Rick James in '79. It was Rick James and Prince. And Prince did a hell of a show. I was kind of surprised. Prince show was good. It was like during the soft and wet era when I was a freshman. But shit, I forgot about Prince after Rick James came on. That was that You and I Prince, Rick James. You and I, we the that shit went hard. Seeing him sing that shit live. You forgot about Prince. Rick James show was so good. You got the time, I got the money. Oh, baby, don't you be so mean. Rick James. Oh shit, I love a little bit of Rick James too. Mary Jane, that L7 square. He talking about where he's from in Buffalo. How it's just the L of just, where the hustling went. Standing on the top. Yeah, I like Rick James too. Prince had the ladies. Yeah, Prince had some hoes. Like I said, that second movie, I didn't even realize the Rainbow Bridge, the second movie. I didn't even realize that was Jill Jones in bed with him. And like her blonded crown, she had kind of let it grow out a little bit, where it was kind of blonde and black. I was like, damn, I'd watched the movie before and never noticed it was like Jill Jones was in bed with Prince. I was like, damn, didn't even notice that. And I thought she was the prettiest woman in Purple Rain by far. She was the baddest bitch in Purple Rain. I don't care what nobody say. Jill Jones was the baddest bitch in Purple Rain by far. They cut out her big scene, but she was the baddest bitch. That bitch shit was on point. Every time she was in the camera, her shit was perfect. Not saying Vanity wasn't cool, and what is the girls in the band, Prince's other girlfriend, the other girl in Vanity 6, the shorter melanated girl, that was Prince. That was like one of his earlier girls before them. He kept her around. I like that. That's a pimp. He kept his girls around that had talent. He kept them around. He didn't get emotional and like, no, he put, that was one of his early girls, and he put her in the movie too, in the group. Oh, what do you think about Luther? I said that before. My favorite song by Luther is with Change. When he was with Change, The Glow of Love. What the fuck is going on today? But yeah, my favorite song of Luther is The Glow of Love. I mean, I like his other stuff, but The Glow of Love by far that's peak Luther to me. The Glow of Love with Change, where he got the perfect band behind him, and he just aimlessly puts it off. Beatles overrated? I would tend to agree. I would tend to agree that the Beatles was overrated. If you see a movie called Bye Bye Birdie, it was a play turned into a movie, and they kind of show you how the government had to go over and destroy Elvis, because Elvis was really pointing you into a certain different vibration that the brother, that the R&B was pushing. And Elvis, even the dance and everything, Elvis was kind of given the European version of that. And they really didn't want them to push it that way. And so the government created the Beatles. The government wrote all them songs for them and created them. And as they put Elvis in Europe in the army, even though Elvis took the polio vaccine, they shipped his ass out the country for a while. Now, that was really the only time Elvis was free, but Elvis didn't perform, which is odd because USO, you can perform. Didn't really perform like he should have. But General Parker was an immigrant from another country. He couldn't travel out of America, or he'd get caught and be shipped wherever the fuck he was from. So Elvis really didn't benefit like he should have the rest of the world because of Parker. But that's when they put, they had the Beatles, they brought all them British groups over there. And it backfired them because Jimi Hendrix went opposite. Not only just Jimi Hendrix, but a lot of Muddy Waters and a lot of them, Cadillac Records show that with Muddy Waters. When he goes back over there, he's popular because all the groups had left and went to conquer America. Well, a lot of what was still popular, these blues groups, went over to Europe at the same time. And that's why Jimi Hendrix killed it while he was there, because he played a lot of those kind of blues. He's really a blues guitarsman playing with the rockabilly kind of Fender guitar that Chuck Berry played, that rockabilly kind of playing. But he created, no doubt, hard rock. But Jeff Beck too. I'll say that. I know Dewan B always say Jimi Hendrix, but he don't give Jeff Beck his propers. Jeff Beck is, I mean, like when you look at I mean, I know Dwayne B does a tree of music. Jeff Beck ain't on that motherfucker, and he should be, because I say, you want to say Jimi Hendrix invented rock and roll, you got to say just as much Jeff Beck, because before Jimi Hendrix went to England, Jeff Beck was the #1 guitarist, and that never really slid. I mean, yeah, him and Jimmy was probably 1A, but Jeff Beck, as I said before, my own experience, my cousin having Jeff Beck on his song. If I would have never heard Jeff Beck, being able to hear that, I would have never been able to hear Jimi Hendrix. But I heard Jeff Beck before I heard Jimi Hendrix. So maybe I'm a little, but definitely Beatles is overrated. But I still, she's got a ticket to ride. That's when I was little. I still know all those songs. But Twist and Shout, come on, that was others. That was other song. Even rock music. Well, they even say, the government had their hand in rock music, and as I said, in creating the Beatles type of thing, and bringing all these British groups over here. I mean, why? Why did America suddenly just need British groups? I mean, you went from Elvis to British groups when there was groups already here. So you see the agenda that was pushed. They wanted these British groups to bring in the type of R&B to make it more successful, because they wanted them faces. Everly Brothers. I don't know if you guys know who the Everly Unchained Melodies, I think, is their song, but they clearly are, Amos and Andy. I mean, these dudes, these two European dudes, do the same Amos and Andy, where they imitate brothers singing. So it's the Amos and Andy. I think it's Unchained Melodies, but the Everly Brothers. But that's what they're doing. They're doing Amos and Andy. They listen to brothers, and they copy their style, and they put the harmonics. So, was it McCarthy from Beatles on cocaine? I think all of them probably went through that a little bit. I think Brian Jones, the only one I heard, was on heroin, and he was definitely murdered. The guy admitted later that he murdered Brian Jones in the pool, drowned him in the pool. And they tried to say, he OD'd, but the guy killed him. But that opened the door, because it was Brian Jones' group. It wasn't Mick Jagger's group. But when they killed Brian Jones, it became Mick Jagger's group. If you study rock history. Oh. But yeah, it's going to be hot again today. Let my cats have a little air. But I had a good day. Good night, good day, good morning. Yeah. And you see I'm more gold today. Look at that. Gold. See that? You can't even see the chain. It's the same color. You see that? Look at that. It's the same color. You see that chain? You see these rings? It's the same color. You see, you can't even see it. Look at that. You can't even see gold. You just see one color. I am the golden elder. The golden elder. But shit, a lot of people is on cocaine. I mean, people don't understand, for shit. From 1970 to 1987, 88, 85, I'll say to 1985, 86, cocaine was like it showed you had money. It wasn't no thing that poor people did. It was things that people had money did. Most people, you spend $40, you can get a fucking half ounce of weed. So why would you, get a fucking half a gram for 50 when you can get for $40, you can get a half ounce of weed. It might last you weeks. So, hey Matthew, how you doing? Thank you for joining. I'm looking for the Tyson Holyfield rematch. Yeah, look at where he gets headbutted, but he gets headbutted in the first one terribly in the first one, terribly headbutted. That was their game plan, to headbutt him. Now again, it's fixed, but that was their game plan from one, was to fight dirty, headbutting. And Mike Tyson was the king of. Mike Tyson would go punch, elbow, or miss, still elbow, but he was the greatest at punch and then hit you with the elbow. So he was dirty too, but he could just do it so quick you wouldn't catch it. But that's what he was great. Punch you and then hit you with an elbow coming in. So Holyfield said, okay, I'm just going to, you know, as my homeboy, Bubba Brazil in the headbutt. The cocoa butt, they used to call it. Uh-oh, Bubba's about to give the cocoa butt. Boom! And Bubba would hit everybody in the ring with his head. That's kind of what started that. Well, I mean, headbutting's always been in boxing, but. And I mean, he was penalized. Miles Lane should have disqualified him for as much as he headbutt. Do you think Tyson? We talked about that months ago. Could be staged. Could have been there. People fuck with people. You know, it just shows you the real money these people got. Like, why was he even around that dude? He was flying regular. Why wasn't he in first class? He got all this money. Why did he have to be around a person like that? I ain't saying everybody got to take a private jet, but he should have been up front in one of them pods and ain't got to worry about people like that. It was a thing like with old Western gunfighters. Do you know how paranoid old Western gunfighters had to be after a while? Everybody didn't want to shoot you. And it wasn't that Wild Bill Hickok stand in front of you. Most people want to shoot you from behind. You know how paranoid gunfighters had to be? The motherfucker just walk up behind you because, you know, you dress like so-and-so and the motherfucker just shoot you in the back. That was the Wild Wild West, a bunch of shooting people in the back. Wasn't that glory, you know, cowboys standing in front of each other, like looking at each other. No, it was shooting people in the back. They show you a little bit of that in Wyatt Earp. Because I studied it all, y'all. You think all Tyson's fight was fixed? All fights is fixed to a point. As I said before, that Buster Douglas fight, he didn't think he had to fight, and he had to fight. As I said, look at Tyson's first 15 fights. Look at him early first fights before he fights for the title. He fights Trevor Burbick for the title. You see it. You see it. As I said, look at the guy falling off the ring, off the ropes. He practices that fall back move before he actually he turns around and Tyson hits him and he flies into the ropes and flies off. But before he hits him, he practices that step back. And then you see as they both go to their right, Tyson throws it, he moves and lands in the ropes and then falls down. So yeah, bunch of them early fights. Now, as I said before, he broke Jesse Ferguson's nose, no doubt about that. He hit him with that uppercut. And you see that when it was live, he hit him with that uppercut. And you saw that shit just come. That shit just came. At the interview, Jesse shit was like this. They were trying like Jesse, he had just opened that nose up. That was a perfect punch. So that was Jesse Ferguson had his nose broke, no doubt. Tyson blew that shit out. So sometimes they let him fight. But yeah, he had his fights was fixed too. They are paid as much more in blockbusters. Yeah, it's just a lot of the same thing. It's a lot of the same thing. It is when it comes down to it's entertainment. And the actors never control the entertainment. Actors put their talent out there for entertainment, but they don't really necessarily control it. That's why managers and promoters. Oh my goodness. Am I glowing tonight, y'all? I think I'm glowing. I'm looking at myself like I'm glowing tonight. I am on one. Matthew says all fights are fixed. Sports become scripted when the money grew so much. Money always been there though. Didn't Joe Louis? Ricky said Joe Louis. I don't know. It's like looking at Floyd Patterson and Sonny Liston. Floyd Patterson really had just as much escapability and movement as Ali, I think. And I really didn't understand this until I started really studying Floyd. Floyd had all the movement to get away from Sonny Liston. Sonny Liston was like Joe Louis. He pretty much coming for right at you. Floyd Patterson had a lot of escapabilities. Floyd Patterson could damn near bend to his ankles to duck a punch. He was one of the rare people that could duck a punch by bending so low. Joe Louis or Joe Frazier kind of followed in that. But Floyd Patterson was like, just as much as Ali could pull his head back, Floyd Patterson could just duck under almost every punch. And then he doesn't use any of this after. He doesn't really use those skills after he loses to Sonny Liston. He never really uses those skills again. At least not in a lot of the big fights. He doesn't use those skills again. So I don't understand. Like when Joe Louis even lost to Max Melling. I mean, you look at that and see that he really wasn't. There was something there, that they were setting up something. Then he turns around, and as you know, I don't know if people know this, but it's like, okay, so Joe Louis loses to Max Melling. Max Melling should be the #1 contender. And instead of Max Melling being the #1 contender, because of the war, they put Joe Louis in the #1 contender. Joe Louis fought a contract with Billy Conn, and the contract was so terrible just to get to fight Billy Conn that Joe Louis gave up a lot of his future rights and earnings. It was like Billy Conn got something like 15 to 20% of Joe Louis's future earnings for a number of years. It was years. Wasn't a couple fights, years. So this is how they cheated him from every angle. And then to go after him for taxes that he didn't even benefit from the money that was made. So no, Tyson knocked out Larry Holmes. And that was another dude that I thought, given being in shape, could have gave Tyson problems. Because the first person, I mean, and I know saying this in hindsight, but one thing I said before is being a boxing historian, I knew that a puncher would give Tyson troubles. And none of the punchers was like, it was so fixed that they was scared or whatever. None of the punchers would punch with him. And I don't mean just punch with him, I mean jab at him. But the one punch I saw when he fought Bone Crusher Smith for Bone Crusher Smith's title, Bone Crusher just held him instead of fought him. Mostly just held him. But in the 11th or 12th round, he hit him with a punch that I saw that Tyson couldn't eat a lot of them. Bone Crusher caught him for one, but he wasn't going to eat a bunch of them back to back. And I was like, that is the key. A person that could hit Tyson like Bone Crusher hit him when Tyson came in, that would be the person. And that was exactly what Buster Douglas did. Tyson come in, he putting that sauce on him. Made him think about it. Lumped him up for coming in. No, Bob Kahn. I already did that video on Michigan game. When Michigan beat Ohio State, the same catch. Go to when Michigan plays Ohio State on my videos. I did a video on that already. It's the same catch. So I didn't need to show the Barkley catch. Go back to my videos. When Michigan plays Michigan State, I show the same one-hand catch out the backfield by a Michigan player, though. So, yeah. Yeah, I caught that, too. I mean, what positivity should I give tonight? George Foreman in his prime was no joke. Yeah, Ricky Smooth. I like George too. George used a lot of the same kind of shield that Floyd used. He used the mongoose kind of shield too. I mean, pretty good technical fighter. Both the Ali fight was definitely fixed. But fixed to the point where, again, he was tired, out of shape, didn't want to be there. Remember, the fight was postponed, and he had to stay there extra time. He almost left the country, didn't want to be there. So, yeah. But I thought the Foreman-Joe Frazier fight was just as fixed. That's what it remind me of the fat dude that beat who's the champ now, the dude from England, or when the chubby dude beat him. That remind me of George Foreman and Joe Frazier. When I saw that, same exact kind of fight, exactly the same. You got a fat looking out of shape dude. Not to say Foreman was, but Joe Frazier shouldn't have been scared of a dude like Foreman. Too much movement. I mean, George Foreman had for being a little dude, he had the perfect way to go through it. And yes, he had to go ahead, and a lot of holding and hitting was allowed, a lot of pushing was allowed. So those kind of things. But it was, but to a point, yeah. Let me tell you, hey, I listened to Craig Fax. Craig Fax listened to their Thursday fight, and this is what he said. And I ran across this information, never thought about it. Matter of fact, the guy he mentions, I saw a special on him. This guy, Craig Fax, had a boxer on there, and he said he fought a journeyman. But he talked about this journeyman that had lost the most fights ever of anybody. And I came across that dude before. I came across the dude, and the dude's come to find out is a promoter. And he would go around and not only fight these people. This dude he won like 30 fights, but lost 400 and some fights. I came across that dude before. I read about him, and then I saw a little thing about him. And come to find out, this boxer talks about him, that he's a journeyman. He goes in to build fighters up. It's like people have showed, where maybe it's a fumble coming and they do a little hand signal. Football, boxing be the same way. They talking to each other. Wrestling, Andre the Giant, Hulk Hogan, Andre the Giant was damn near, handicapped fighting. Shouldn't even been fighting. And, Hulk was like, what do I do? He's like, okay, I'm going to kind of jump with you and you throw me down. This guy was in such bad shape. No way anyone should have let Andre fight when they fought in the Superdome. Andre was in such physical bad shape because he wouldn't take the medicine to make you stop growing. So, Ali was quick. Oh, shoot, yeah. Oh, yeah. Most of Ali's fights was fixed, too, if not all. I met George and Mark, George and Monk in Hampton when Monk was trying to break the heavyweight ranks in like 11. Okay. Oh, okay. Man, I met so many boxers. I grew up in that kind of thing. I met so many boxers. I've said before, I met all the Mayweathers. I talked before. My cousin beat Roger. My cousin knocked Roger Mayweather out. So I saw Floyd Sr. Floyd Sr. only a few years older than me. Them dudes is from Grand Rapids, and the gym in Kalamazoo, we had a pro gym. Ali's brother came through. He had a couple champions. Lem Hutchinson was lightweight champion contender, but there's a lot of dudes that Hank Grooms. Matter of fact, last time I saw Hank Grooms, he did a fight against Tyson. Somebody fought Tyson. Tyson beat him, but Hank was in the corner with some dude. And Hank, I've said this before, dude, if you look at all the people that made All City in Kalamazoo, and I made All City, his son, Orrin, made All City. And Orrin was hustler, apparently in Tampa. And Orrin got whatever he got into. Somebody shot him in the back of his head, and he was only a year younger than me, so 27, 28, got killed down there. They sent him back to Michigan. But George named all his boys George. Yeah, I'm kind of surprised by that because really Larry Holmes should have been undefeated. Michael Spinks didn't beat Larry Holmes. That was all totally fixed to make Larry Holmes not break the record. They let Floyd break the record. Larry Holmes had the record. Michael Spinks did not beat Larry Holmes. Not at all. Not at all. Evander Holyfield, I didn't think beat Braxton. When I watched that fight, I'm pretty sure that's the fight. Braxton? No, I don't remember, but Michael Spinks definitely didn't beat Larry Holmes. And they only made Larry Holmes lose, so he didn't break the record, but they let Floyd break it. But Larry Holmes was nothing but an Ali clone. That's all. He was an Ali clone. I mean, really, if you really look at what Larry Holmes was given, Larry Holmes was allowed to train with Ali for years. And so he was able to pick up and use that style in his prime. Where Ali was robbed of his prime, Larry Holmes was able to use Ali's style for the most part. Now, Larry Holmes was a very technical fighter, nice size at what, 6'3", 6'4", 6'3 and a half. Nice size, long arms. Very technical fighter, but incorporated a lot of Ali stuff and could hit. So Larry Holmes really would have broken the record if they didn't cheat him. And they straight cheated him. He didn't. Michael Spinks didn't beat him either fight. Not either fight. And Michael Spinks didn't even defend it. They like took the title from Michael Spinks. So when Michael Spinks fought Tyson, Michael Spinks was the, what do you call it? The lineal. Michael Spinks was the lineal champion because Michael Spinks technically had not got beat by the man. Just like Fury was still lineal champion. Lineal champion is the original championship that goes back to the 1800s, like the 1880s with John L. Sullivan, James Colbert, goes back to that. That's the lineal champion. It didn't break off until Ali didn't fight. When Ali fought Spinks back to back, that's when a lot of the boxing broke up to what you see today. I wanted to name all my boys after me. I wanted one of them to name one of my boys Toad. One of the mamas would go for it. It was like when you have more than one boy with women, they'll let you name the first child, but the second males, they gonna have something to do with that name. Like, no, I'm gonna name this one. You got to name in Junior or whatever, but I'm naming this one. But it was both of my my two oldest sons. Mama's let me name the first children. The second was like, no, I'm naming this one. Because my 24-year-old child has my teammate's middle name. His name is Earl Michael, and my son's name is Devin Michael. So, and then other family members. My son is named Devin. One of the other family members, my wife's family, named her son Tevin. And she literally asked me, she's like, what is your son's name? And I said, his name is Devin. And she named her son Tevin. So, one of my godsons. So, which is okay. It's okay. Keep that energy moving. Oh, yeah, Larry Holmes didn't play. But I saw all them early boxers. Like I say, my boy K-Dog, my cousin K-Dog beat the shit out of Roger. Knocked Roger's ass out. So... But older Mayweather was nice. He made a bunch of them. When ESPN back in the 80s was putting on a lot of fighters, Floyd Sr. fought a lot of the fights. I saw Floyd fight a bunch of times. I saw Floyd fight a bunch of times live. I remember I was trying out somewhere, and Floyd was fighting on the West Coast, and I ran into one of his fights. And he saw me. It's like, damn, what you doing out here? It's like, what I do. It's like, yeah. That's why I'm out here fighting. I'm like, same way. I'm running up and running down one of these fields. Never played lacrosse. Never played lacrosse. Nope. They did not have that in Michigan. Let me say this. They did not have it in Lower Michigan. It was played in the UP. Always played in Wisconsin. Always played here. Played out east. But not really played in Lower Michigan. Yeah, not really. So nope, not offered. Now it might be offered now, but wasn't offered when I played. Played with my daughter. We had the sticks, but yeah, my daughter didn't like it. We bought all shit. That shit cost me a couple $100. She didn't like the shit. I was able to sell it for what I bought it for though. Floyd, I don't know. He had to fight the drunken monkey. He had to fight a bunch of people. I just think he was able to master what he did. That's all. He was just able to master the many different styles that's always been out there. He was able to really take everything that was always put out there and put it together. It's kind of Ali came into the same thing, whereas, Sugar Ray was really the original. Ali was able to, a bigger man, to do the same kind of things that Sugar Ray was doing. You've had, as I said, Larry Holmes and others. You had a smaller dude did what Ali did, the other Sugar Ray. Oh, should we send high vibrations to everybody? What do you think? Put those high vibrations to everybody. I quit showing that. You're trying to hypnotize people. I looked at the other day and I was stuck in front of my computer for 3 days. Come on now. I ain't trying to hypnotize anybody. I'm just tuning my tools. My tools like to show off. Oh, let's wish. Do we want to wish abundance for everybody? Do we hope that the crew that is nice enough to watch us, abundance to them? That's what I say too. Let's give abundance to everybody watching tonight. May the abundance that you can acquire, may your current, keep your current high. Learn to keep your currents high. That's all abundance is. Currency, keep your current high. Hey, Jody, how you doing? Thank you for joining me again. Floyd was too quick, he was. Hey, Jody, how you doing? Thank you for joining me. But yeah, keep your currency high, that's all. Don't get stuck in the mud. Keep it moving. As I said, don't let these little pinpricks bother you. Adapt and move and adjust. That's it. Adjust on the fly, adjust on the move, adjust on, as you talk and adjust. That's what it is. You have to adjust. Now, I'm not going to go too long tonight. I need to get some rest. Didn't get a whole lot of rest last night, so I'm going to get some rest tonight. So I'll go a little longer. I'm feeling still pretty jovial. I mean, so many little things they want us to worry about where we really have them. Where we really look back and we say, we really did it, and we stressed off something that really wasn't worth stressing about. And that's it. Stress off real problems. Save the energies for real problems. And, as I've had these crystals for a number of years, I've never had an intention that they get harmed or anything, but fragile things, sometimes things happen to them. It was never my intention, and you can't necessarily saying that I'm being careless. That's not the case. The case is in the practice. The practice of what I do, a lot of times this stuff is around and it has to work where it is. And sometimes, things get a little harmed. But it's never my intention that it happens. And, old people drop stuff. Just drop shit. It's like, damn. My lighting is not understanding why. Lighting over there. I think the cats. Yes. Okay. So the cat's been on my goddamn table. Tell you what. Tell you something that shows a good heart. I know every time I go around cats come to me. And I always hear people, and I've heard this for years, that say that my cats don't go in anyone. But when I come around, most animals, even dogs, So I think people see, animals can see my good heart, that they come to me. I rarely see animals that don't come to me. And I ain't around horses and chickens and all that shit. I can't say. I can say cats and dogs pretty much like me for the most part, especially cats. And I know I probably smell like cat because I do have 2 cats. So despite my high hygiene, I probably smell like cat a little bit. But that can attract a certain kind of energy too. No doubt about that. No doubt about that. Oh, yeah, I saw Dr. Strange. Buster Douglas knocked him out. Yes, he does. Yeah, I saw Dr. Strange. He came on tonight, I know. Some person know of evil. Yeah. Yeah, I saw Doctor Strange. I mean, the interesting part is when they turn into paint. I don't know if people can really understand that kind of concept of that kind of world because you're talking about one dimensional. If you was really turned into paint, you'd be a one-dimensional being. But it would also take you into creation because you would be the color. Now, when they were the paint, they weren't the sound. So pretty much one-dimensional, but one-dimensional with the creation of color. And I don't know if people can really understand that type of world. Um, and as I said again, mountains ain't going to exist in a flat plate. It's just not going to exist. Care what you say, that kind of thing ain't going to exist. Now, I ain't saying it's a ball, but mountains ain't going to exist in a flat plane. There's no way a flat plane explains that. But that is that point when he says where we paint, people aren't understanding that's what he's talking about, being one dimension, but with the creation of the colors. Colors come with creation. Colors come directly from sound. Yeah. So that's why, Zach always says, the word was a letter, but you have to even back up with the first kind of vibration would come out. The vibrations would change, and the vibrations change into where color comes, and from color would come the sound. Not the sound and then the colors. It would be the color, and then the sound would come out of the colors. That makes sense. I know guitar, the frets, different colors mean different, So, yeah, I got Netflix. My boy was younger. He's like, let's watch Netflix. We got Netflix, Dad. You paid for Netflix. Let's watch Netflix. Netflix. He was the same one that said all cars was Cadillacs. When he was 4, every car was Cadillac. Like, Dad, see the car right there next to us? I know what kind of car that is. Like, okay, what kind of car is it? That's a Cadillac, Dad. So what kind of car that is? I'm like, no, it's not. It's a Buick. No, Dad, it's a Cadillac. All cars are Cadillacs. No, son, all cars are not Cadillacs. There are Cadillacs, but not every car. So that car is not a Cadillac. He would argue with me when he was young. I think I was the dumb one for arguing with a 4-year-old. I don't know I was arguing with it, but I was just trying to see that all cars were Cadillacs. But my own behavior, I kind of fell into his trap. No, Dad, it's Cadillac. He was an expert on it. But yeah, I got Netflix. I don't watch a whole lot of movies. I don't have movie patience. Movies be stupid. I can't stand stupid. I'm not a very patient person, and I don't tolerate stupid. I like action, and the kind of action I like is shoot 'em up action. So not necessarily bombs and shit. I like more shoot 'em up than bombs, and sometimes shoot 'em up and bombs go together. I've never liked chase scenes. I tolerate them, but I never really liked car chase scenes. That was probably my least favorite part of movies as a younger person. Oh yeah, I tolerated them as I got older, but my least favorite part of movies was all car chase scenes. Any kind of vehicle chase scenes was my least favorite. Now the airplanes chasing each other is a little different, but car chases, never liked that. TV was like copied that shit from the movies. TV have a 5-minute chase scene. TV only be a 20-minute show, and 5 minutes of the 20-minute show gonna be a chase scene. Copy that shit. Yeah, I think I saw Bird Box. I saw the other one. What is the other one called? Yeah, I saw Bird Box too. Is that the one with the demons in it? Or no, there was the Phantoms. I love some spaghetti westerns. The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly is my favorite. That is probably the best western of all time. The Good and the Bad and the Ugly is probably the best western of all time, I think. More than some of them older westerns. That was probably the best western, I think. Yeah, it's cheesy with the close-up shots, but on the other hand, the close-up shots work, especially at the end when you got the 3 killers all facing each other, and they do them close-up shots and see who gonna shoot each other what first, and knowing that one of them ain't got really a bullet, so The one is like holding all the cards, but you don't know to that point. That's some good. That's some good cinema. That's some good cinema, and it brought that shit back because the hippies didn't. You know, the hippies that liked the westerns in the early '60s, the John Wayne charging in. You know, they kind of didn't like John Wayne no more, anymore. You know, very conservative guy. But when Clint Eastwood came in, early Clint Eastwood was the TV dude that had dabbled in the movies, but Henry Fonda, Once Upon a Time in the West with Woody Strode. That was what made the bigger budget spaghetti westerns go. And like I don't know if y'all know who Paul Hogan is and the Paul Foster's Beer. He when his show came on, he always made fun of Clint Eastwood and that character. You know, my little cigars are like blindies. You know, but yeah, that's one of my favorite shows. And the history that it hits, it's kind of an interesting concept. But yeah, I like that one. I liked My Name Is the cowboy that used to slap people. My name is Trinity or some shit. My name is Trench. This motherfucker was the first dude that you got to try to draw. He slapped the shit out of you. His hands were so quick. And he was the spaghetti western. My name is because he did Balboa. The Balboa was like his brother, but he was good where he would motherfucker try to draw. He'd be slapped the dude and shit. What was his name? My name is Trinity. I thought his name. But dude would go to draw it. He didn't slap the dude. Dude trying to draw for the gun. Dude so quick to slap him and keep slapping him. Forget who that cowboy guy was. But he was the spaghetti western dude too. Yeah, I saw a lot of that. My name is Trinity, I thought. And then the second was Balboa, because Balboa was his brother. Which I think, doesn't that mean devil in one language or another? But good. Watch the video Super Sly did with the gentleman they did. He had some good stuff to say. Worth the watch, worth the mention. And try to work on yourself. Try to work on what what helps you move through, what helps you be successful, what helps keeps things balanced with you. Remember, balance ain't just sitting in the middle. Balance is. That's balance. That's true balance, and that's what you need to be. Is that true balance? And thank you guys that tune in. Thank you so much. I try to do the best I can do. Try to do the best I can do. That's why I came on just quickly. I was kind of like just out and didn't bring my stuff, so had to do that little quick show, but just wanted to give some energies out for those of you that tune in. I was lazy tonight, kind of buzzed, a little drunk. Well, here we go. I think I said it before. Yeah, I'll take a high over wealth any day. I'll take a high over wealth any day. And you know what they used to say? You jive turkey, you got into bed with the man. You got in bed with the man. Now you selling wolf tickets, you done got in bed with the man. You in bed with the motherfuckers. You can't get away. You got the number, nigga. That's the coldest one. You got the number, nigga. That shit hurt him so bad he put a pistol out on him. Talk to me like that. Well, that was the smooth shit. You got the number, nigga. That was smooth. I'm going to tell you what movie that's from. If you don't know, you're going to look it up. Well, I'm out of beer. I am very buzzed. I don't mind philosophizing, but I don't really have anything else to drink. Maybe I'll suck one of these and then go for a little more. Just broke my teeth. Soothe my throat. Okay. I'll go a little longer. I got a few more minutes I can go. I say this. Okay. We'll go this for a little bit. I mean, really feel through life too. Maybe I don't speak enough of that. Really feel your way through life. Feel the things sometimes before they happen. Like before you enter a room, try to see if you can touch the energy before you enter and see if you're right about the energy. And sometimes there's little clues that the energy is off. Like you go in a normal situation, I know I'm gonna just use a job, and you can just see, and then all of a sudden there's something out of place at your work, and you see the energy is off. But if you don't get that kind of hint, be able to feel that. Be able to feel that. And I'll say this: a job, the job is the same way at work as working, or excuse me, a job is the same way as driving. Where you work, whatever you do, even if you're not the greatest at it, because you're there, there's an energy there that'll show you how to do whatever you need to do. Now, I'm not saying you can go code if you don't have those skills. I'm not saying that. But I'm saying that if you go into a job with a lot of the basic skills that it takes to do the job, there is a energy of the job that will help you do the job better. The way businesses have to cast, they have to cast an understanding of how to do what they do. And that has to be put out there to the people, because they know sometimes people are going to they don't want to be bothered with the questions all the time. They want the work to go smoothly. So businesses, as they set up their symbols, they set up their cast. So it's almost, as I say, with driving, it's an energy you can tap into. So as you go to these jobs, tap into that. Now, what's interesting, and I guess where my skill of being a police officer, I was able to go to each individual situation and kind of tap in. There was only one time I really got fooled of going into energies and not understanding what was going on. But for the most part, I was able to kind of understand and feel the energies. Like I went on a raid one time and I was like, there's nothing here. I could just tell. But, I got to play Army, if you understand. I got to play Army, but I could see there's like, why are we going through all this? I could see that it wasn't what we was going through. Not to say I wasn't prepared, but I just felt that the energy wasn't there of what they were saying was there. It wasn't there. And it turned out it wasn't. I was right. But use that in your all life, I mean, even something's buying something. You can feel that just to practice the energy of the person. And you ain't got to say nothing to them. Just be cordial. That's how you get through life, is being cordial. Person says a joke or smile, you ain't necessarily got to smile. You read it. Do you need to smile? You don't always need to smile. Some instances, don't smile. Some instances, smile. Some instances, just smile with your eyes. You ain't have to smile with your face, smile with your eyes. So, this is how you should face your world. Face your world. Feel the energy of the person that you're with. Feel that energy first. Feel that energy. See if there's something off. When it's good, embrace it. But feel that first. Feel that energy come in. I guess that's the philosophy I would give to people, is that little bit. Because everywhere you pretty much work, they have to show you the way the work is done. And there's already a blueprint of the way the things are done. So almost every job. Again, coding, but even that, there's a way the company wants things done. So there's something that you can tap into. So I want people to get that. I want people to understand that. How to use what magic you have. But life is the same way. This reality is the same way. You can just see it for what it is. As I said, you can't bend the spoon. Realize that the spoon ain't there. It's like even with this, some people will say, I'm making it move. Am I making you move? Now, my conscious mind, I'm not making you move. They do management training tries to show that it's the person moving it, but I can argue that it's moving on its own. All I have to do is hold the weight. I'm not pendulum doing this. I let the energy move through it because there is a directional energy that will guide this. It's just that's what the Ouija boards are based on. Now, in 2D, this can't exist. This can't do anything in 2D because this is not really based on illusion. This is the solid object that is touched, that can touch and anticipate these other objects and somewhat events. Help you with your timing. Because that's a big thing too, is timing is very big in all of our lives. I mean, Brother Edward or Brother Macbone would definitely tell you, you talking about pimping, that you getting chose, that is the greatest timing in the world. We used to have a thing called hey Brother Sean, how you doing, man? Thank you for joining. We used to have a thing called the 5-second rule. You could let go the person that was right for you within 5 seconds, because you could connect with that person and that person moves around you and you got 5 seconds that might explain the rest of your life. I just heard about a photographer, interpreter was shot dead and her dad by New Zealand. Wow. Damn. Wow. That is interesting. That probably be on Wion News. Okay, I'll look on that on Wion, WION News. I watch that World News a little bit, so I'll look for that. How are things there? I mean, here it's pretty relaxed. The gas is going down. It closed. I think it closed under $1. Could be wrong, but I think gas closed under $1. Again, we're going into that ain't the total price. The barrel price ain't the total price. We're basically going on September futures right now. That's the price of gas. We're going on September futures, right? We're in July. Yeah. The futures for gas futures. We're going on September futures. So that's why the gas it has went down somewhat. We should see November, December. We should see even lower gas then, based on the way we've seen like 889. 995 around in there. So we'll see that in the wintertime when they switch to the other blend. So yeah, I'm sorry to hear that. But, given the status of everything, I don't know. I can't really say I agree or disagree with the brother that Sly had on saying it's World War III now. I've really never known life without war. My 60 years, never really known life without war. It's always been a war going on somewhere all of my life, starting with Vietnam. I knew dudes that went to Panama. Dudes was in Beirut when Reagan sent them people in Beirut and some of them got blowed up. So it's never went away. It's always been this. Now, the same thing going in Ukraine is the same thing as they gave the reason why they're in Israel and why they need to be in Iraq. They need to have a presence. This is their presence, in the Eastern Bloc. That's why they need Ukraine. That's what they'll tell you. No, it's not necessarily a proxy war. It is saying we have this stance here. We are furthering, NATO is furthering their escalation. That's why Russia attacked. And so Ukraine is basically split like North Korea and South Korea. The parts that's closest to Russia, that's what they've taken. They haven't necessarily taken the other port or the other part, the other side. But they like chaos. I mean, this thing likes chaos. That's why they like this other thing that just went on that, we came 2 years out of. They like that. That caused chaos. More. Her name is Eliza Trubeloff. She was a beautiful lady too, connected with rappers, artists. Wow. All that. Dang. Wow, they went after her. That's heartbreaking. I got some friends that would like her name. They would like this information. I'll have them look into her. Because this is right up there, what they try to study and look under. Jody might even find interest in that. Jody, you might want to take note of this. Conte, what's happening? Chiante. Yeah, Jody, you might want to look in that too. Look her up, Jody. You might want to look into that. That kind of seems like something that you would be good into breaking down and deciphering. If not, I'll look into it too. But I know Jody probably has a little more awareness maybe than I do. So she'll let me know one way or another. She can look it up. If she finds anything, she'll let me know. If not, then I'll see what I can find. But we'll put out the word. Yeah. Because it sounds like injustice happened to such a versatile person. And, we see this all the time. And that's the sad part about what we see now. We see too much injustice. But it's adapting to it. And not letting you get, not letting you slow you down or take you down. You just adapt to it. It's like I was saying about with work. Whatever they throw at you, if you work there long enough, be like, okay, get it done. That's all. Most places, if you make mistakes, they still kind of go with you. It's like, well, you're a good guy. Just try not to do it again. If you get stuck, come ask us. Most places will do that. You have a question, just ask. One time I had a forklift, and I had the forklift damn near to the ceiling. There was about 1,500 pounds of liquid. I had the forklift down like that. The guy's like, what do I do about this? No, I figured it out myself before anybody saw that. Damn near flipped me, though. I had that shit up there because didn't have any way to move it out. I had to put it up to get it out. It was too much weight. At one point, that shit buckled me. But I held on. Okay. Okay. Thank you for that. See what we can find out. Yeah, Jay, we talked about it. No, it's just some Globetrotter basketball. That's all. Globetrotter basketball. That's all it was. Just Globetrotter basketball. But they put them numbers in there. I wouldn't even take notice. But they wanted you to notice by putting that 42 out there. He had 20, what he's 22 each half. But you saw the way they was playing. They wasn't on him tight. They wasn't on him tough. It was a loose game. And not to say older dudes. Man, I didn't slow down really until I was 47, 48, 49. Not really. Not really. Not really. Knew how to stay in shape better, take stronger, never be out of shape. Knew how to do that. Knew how to recover. I'll say this. Shoes and injury is not talked about enough. The better they made the tennis shoes, the less injuries came. I'll say that. As I was talking last night or the night before about football shoes, how the football shoes all of a sudden became better. When they brought them new Nike shoes, even though they were better than spot bills, they were great shoes when they brought them new Nike football shoes in. Whatever brand that was in 81, where they had the high tops and the lows. Really a greater football shoe than the spot builds I had played in previously. It was a good shoe, good football shoe. I just the high tops were perfect. I mean, they were perfect football shoes, no doubt. All white, high top, perfect shoe. Will it help with injuries? You know, help, not have injury. How to deal with youngsters? Mm. As I was saying, man, a lot of times the needling, a lot of times this reality gives you the needling and dealing with younger, arrogant people. I think we was talking about arrogance last night before. We was talking about what arrogance is and why people have certain arrogance. That comes with that, but look at also as arrogance as certain types of immaturity. Because you don't have to be arrogant when you know. You just have to walk around like you know. You don't need to be arrogant about it. If you got to be arrogant, you don't really know. Because you're using the energy, you just don't, you're pushing out a false energy of confidence, no doubt. But arrogance doesn't mean you really, there's something you're not fully commanding. It's like a bluff, a wolf, you know. But knowing, you know, you just be knowing. You can look whatever. You can look confused and still know. So look at it from the maturity aspect too. Because again, younger people tend to be arrogant, tend to be emotional. So use your maturity to deal with that. Stay away from falling into the emotional trap, because that's what young people tend to move off of. They want to move off emotion because that's what they're used to, proving themselves. You know, proving yourself is emotion. You know, they're trying to prove themselves. You're already proven. You know, you ain't fighting that. So again, as I say, go into the eyes of Laura Marsh and look into their eyes and see where they're coming from. See where the immaturity is coming from. Then deal with them from that knowing. It's like, oh, okay, you missing this. And I mean, it's really like that. It's like, oh, okay, you're immature in this way. Deal with them like that. Instead of taking the needles, you know, from the arrogance. And it ain't easy. I understand. It ain't easy. But if you know what you're doing, young people, I'll say, okay, if it's not the competitive thing, you know, that's something there too. But again, that's where maturity, a maturity of emotion will help you too. Not falling into that kind of thing, where everyone's working for the common. But just do your best. And if your worth has taken you to the point where it's taking you, and there's those of you that have younger people governing you, you know, you fit in the same way. So ride it the way you ride it. But understand that where the needle is coming from when it comes. I had an older person say, like, they had 5 different managers in 5 or 6 months, and all the managers wanted paperwork done their own way. And what the person learned was, okay, I rode the wave of how they wanted it, even though that wasn't the most efficient. Then another person come in here, I do the same thing, roll their wave, and they were so used to it. So as new younger people were coming in, that they were like one way or the other most of the time. One way or the other, or lazy. Found that too. They're like lazy too. Some of them don't want to make any decisions. It's imperative for Black men in their 40s and 50s to do their best to be the greatest mental and physical conditioning they probably can. I don't disagree with that, because you know you can't really be strong mentally if you're not strong physically in some way too. Adversaries teach those who are arrogant. Good point. But that's the thing, is use your maturity and your experience to trump it. Given which way you are, if it's a supervisor that's younger, I mean, I try to give an idea of how to deal with any kind of the younger people. But yet your maturity and your knowing, take the day, whichever experience that you under, let that take the day. And patience, let patience take the day. If you're doing what you're doing and it's making money the way they want money made, they ain't really leaning on you like that. as long as you're making them money. So look at it like that. If what you do make them money, there's value in what you're doing. So always keep that in mind. But if you're in the group and have to work within the group, let your knowing take over, understand emotion. And see if that's what they fall into. Like the first time, like when young people come into a new situation the first time, it's like, hey, you said this shit would hold. You know, it's like you got a group of engineers, A, B, C, and D, and you know, B bragged on how his way was going to hold, and all of a sudden it don't work. So what are you doing to make the adjustments, B? B. What are you doing to make the adjustments? And that's where you see. And sometimes you can like, okay, I think we can make this adjustment. What do you think? You can bail them out. And the thing is don't hold that over. Make them see, work with me. Because some of them were like, well, I know I owe you. No, you don't owe me anything. Just work with me. That was the whole thing from the beginning. Just work with me. You don't owe me anything. It took me helping you so we could keep working. And see if, you know, if they can understand that. And some get it. Some get it. Some don't. So see which one you're working with. But be on your shit. You know, whatever you do, be on it. So understand that? And like I was saying, you know, I'm saying now working, you gotta work. Whatever you do. But be on it. And don't cut off, you know, fresh ideas because it's coming from young people either. I'll say that. You know, just because they're young and they come bring ideas, and if their ideas make it efficient, listen. You know, I mean, it goes all ways. You know, I'm gonna give you the 360. 360. I'm just saying, be open to all of it. You know, listen. Now, if what you listen and they're like wrong, you tell them they're wrong, and this is why. No matter what it is, say this is wrong. This is why it ain't gonna work. But if part of what they say could work, be like, oh, okay, we can use this part up to this point, but the rest of that ain't gonna work. But thank you for bringing that part because that part will work. So it's a lot of ways to deal with them. You know, don't let them be the needles. You know, like I was saying, when I would play pickleball, you know, and I'm just kind of playing with average people, I would make my guys shine. The first 5 or 6 points, you know, we playing to 15. The first 5, 6, 7 points. If my guys is shining, and all I gotta do is rebound and, you know, hit them or hit them on long passes, I'm gonna do that. But when it comes to 13, 14, 15, and if I got the ball and all I got to do is score to win, there ain't nobody else gonna get the ball because I know that I can do what needs to be done. But up to that point, I needed their help. You see. So when it gets critical, crucial, you do it. But up to that point, help them, let them help you win. I say that. I'm glad males listen to me online and offer my counsel and advice. That's good. That's good. Okay, Sean. Yeah. Jody would really probably like that story. So if she doesn't want to jump on that, then I'll look into it too. But I know she's interested in stories like that, and she might see an angle that I don't see. But on her. But I'm glad you shared it in the community because the community will look it up. Definitely, definitely. It's always good hearing from you from the other side of the world. It's daytime where you are, and it's like morning. It's got to be shit going on too here. Oh fucking! I didn't sleep last night. Oh my goodness, I need some sleep bad. I need some sleep bad. I've got about 2 hours of sleep yesterday, or yesterday morning. I'm bad about it. If I don't have my routine, I don't sleep. So routine was messed up. Didn't sleep. But you know, I like laying down. You know, people don't realize that laying down is resting. So I understand that too. If I can lay down for 8 hours, I'm okay. I'm no matter. You know, most people be so worried. But like I didn't sleep, but I was just thinking. But I had to hit my mother with that. Were you laying down the whole time? Well, I was laying down, but I couldn't sleep. Well, you were laying down still. So you're rested if you lay down. If you lay down for 8 hours, you lay down for 6 hours, you're rested. I don't care if your mind is doing this. If you're laying down for that long, you're all right. Don't just let it be enough. Be like, shit, I laid here, you know, I was able to lay here from 3 to 9, and I'm okay. I'm gonna make it. I also received a free consultation over the phone from the farm runner. Okay. He was okay. Yeah, farm runner's got good stuff. I like farm runner. He's got good stuff. You was maxing and relaxing. Oh, no doubt. No doubt. No doubt about that. Definitely was maxing and relaxing. High the motherfucker. Nice last night. Last night was nice. You know, it's really nice. Yeah, really nice. Last night was really nice. So that's why I came on, just to, I know I had to change up and I couldn't give other vibrations, but just to come on for people just to chat for a little bit. Y'all take the time to watch, and the people that watch it later, I appreciate this. Yeah, as long as you're laying down, you're resting. Yeah, no doubt. I mean, you got to understand that. I mean, tossing and turning is okay, and I know it's bothersome, but long as you lay down, and that's where you can even get out of tossing and turning by just accepting to lay there. You don't really need to toss and turn. I mean, when you're little, I don't even know if this goes back to where people would flip the pillow. For some reason, I think parents taught us that, where you flip the pillow and it's cooler on the other side. And after a while, it's like, why would I even waste the energy to do that? But I do this. When I turn, I damn near fully sit up, and then I dive back into the bed. And so if I'm laying with a person, I like almost sit up and then I dive into them. And most of the people that sleep with me understand this, so they kind of move with the motion. They don't like, oh, what happened? They're like, okay, this motherfucker just jumped back into bed. The animal's laying around. They're like, oh, he okay. He's done this before. He's okay. Big Unk. My girl said, you be swinging? Swinging? Nah, I'm the less swinging motherfucker in the world. No, I'll be swinging. I don't know what that means. I don't be swinging. I like women, but I don't like a lot of women. I like the women that like me. So there's a whole bunch of women that can take me. Not a whole lot of women I want to be around. I'll say that. It takes a certain people for me to even be around. Yeah, but I like people in general. I talk to everybody. I do. If I have a chance to meet everybody, I try to talk to everybody and give them high vibrations. I'm pretty positive most of the time I meet people. I'll meet somebody and be like, you know what? What's happening in Ukraine is fucked up. Yeah, it's really fucked up. I don't bringing no shit like that up. I don't care about that. It's like, even when I would talk shit, and this is what would get people. All the bullshit I would talk about on Facebook, when people would see me, they didn't understand that I wouldn't talk about that stupid shit, because it's just stupid shit. It's just stupid shit and even that is a trap. Even that kind of thing is a trap. It's a trap to lure you in, to take your energy. And it's not even worth it. Now that not only it's not even good enough to take your energy to care about, a topic. Now they want you to care about moving in somewhere and buying your little, buying your little small property and be just totally away from this. And that's, that is more 2D dimension. That's 2D flat plane. That is definitely flat plane. There's no way to get away from that. You go to the metaverse, that's totally flat plane, because they build up from illusion. The way the program is built up, it's built up pixel by pixel up from illusion. So that's flat plane right there. That's why I've said before, those mirrors exercises, that's another illusion kind of thing. And it hasn't taken over like I thought, but that's what it is. They've kind of mixed it up where one machine will kind of show you the exercise, don't really, the one projected in the mirror, because again, their ideas is you can trade with the mirror. That is the prime 2D technology, is you can be the mirror character and be in the mirror character come out. And a few movies test that, but that is pure 2D kind of illusion. That it the old witch movies show you that they would gladly trade that for just a little while to get out of that mirror illusion to get into this for a little while. And then sometimes they were talking about they want to go back to that. So That is kind of how they show the mirror magic, the illusional type of magic of being trapped kind of in it. So, swaggy. Okay, okay, Macbone. Swaggy. Yeah, it is kind of funny. Yeah, ain't nobody seeing me do that. Said I've been into when I was younger, but not older. No, I limit my availability. I've got limited availability. I get paranoid. It's like I've had people wanting me to go places, and it's like, yeah, and the energy to come in, like, yeah, I might not make it back from that place. That ain't paranoid. It's just how I am, and knowing how that area is like at that given time, the timing. I was like, yeah, I can't go down there. Then I might not make it back. Just the way my energy was at the time. Another time it might work, but at that time, I was like, yeah, this ain't working. So I know myself. You should know yourself and take care of yourself the best way possible. Yeah, I can get 2 hours out of this. Know yourself. And know yourself, again, will keep you from searching for stuff in your house because you know yourself. You know what you would do with something. Understand this thing will pick little things to make irritants. Irritants. You might can't get your gas cap off. I mean, just little irritants that shouldn't be there. And bull through them, push through them, and understand them. And that's what I was saying, it's patience. But I thank you guys for making this channel what it is. Thank you for all the texts. I appreciate that. Mm. Yeah, I know what he said. You was swagging out. I know. Fresh. I know. I know. I know. I'm just joking. I'm just joking. I'm just joking. I know. I'm just joking. Talked with one of my cousins about Christianity, Jesus. I told him belief in Jesus and Christianity hasn't worked out for me, especially when it comes to anger management. Yeah, because it's not a lot of balance for that. In that, turn another cheek doesn't answer that question. Yeah, you really couldn't look at it from that perspective. Yeah, I don't think the answer is in there for that. I mean, again, you'd have to go into being Catholics, like anger management. When we saw, what was it called? The Dan Brown books, and you got the Catholics that would beat themselves supposedly like Jesus was beat. I mean, that's a way of dealing with anger, but that's extreme, but that's where that kind of comes from too. They were saying, that was saying that, if there's anything wrong with you, suffer it now and beat it out now. And so everything you do after that, you already have admitted to what was wrong with you. And so by taking these suffering and these wounds, you beating that out. And in a weird way, that's they try to say that balance is what they're doing. But I'll say this. There's something coming. I think there's something coming that's being released. These books are released to me. There's something they fear. This reality fears something. All these kind of things they're doing now, they sped up. There's something that they fear. There's something out there that this thing fears. It's doing crazy stuff now. So, don't know how we truly tap into that, but it does seem like there's something out there that we seem to tap into more than it can tap into that it fears. So, hey, Lorenzo, what's happening, man? How you doing? Feeling anger or rage is a lack of self-control. Well, I mean, it's like saying pain. You can't really control the pain. You see the pain before you feel it. You know, you see it before you feel it. So you have no control of that. So for a person, certain people, they can't control it. So you can't come from it as a lack of self-control. It's the same way. Their lack, the pain that comes in and they have to react to, is the same way as we would generally see the pain from an injury come. We would see it and then we would later feel it. And that is for some. Not saying that you're not tapping into it, but I'm saying understand that part too. You know. So it's not totally a lack of self-control. Sometimes it is the only control that comes in certain people. They and it's easier for us to say because us that can control, but some people can't control it. And some people, but some people can find ways to control it. That's the other part. Some people can find certain cheats that help you control it. It's like before I became a cop, I would have been reckless. I angered so much. I would have been really reckless. Like me as a hustler and carrying guns all the time, wasn't necessarily reckless because I always respected guns, but totally unafraid. Totally unafraid, totally in everybody's face. Totally a storm of like, let's do it right now. I'm not backing away. It's just right here. We can do it or not. And when I became a cop, I had to learn to channel that in a different way. Because you really can't. You shouldn't work on emotion. You should really be able to see it on the and as I've said before, sometimes shit be funny and you can't laugh, but the shit be funny. You be like, and I tell jokes about the shit later, but given at the time, even something as simple as that, you can't laugh. That goes with it too. So, but thank you. Yeah, I mean, I don't disagree with you, Just Lost. I don't. It's not that I disagree with you, but understand that some people aren't at that level where they can control it. So what we have to also offer is techniques to help people control it. And that's what helps is say, okay, the anger comes in. Can you hesitate for a minute before you react? That's just a simple way to start. Can you hesitate a minute before you act? So not that I disagree with you, but there's different levels too. 24, the dragons and the tigers will come and gather together. Wow. Dragons and tigers. Man, can we break that down in sports? Well, I'll say this, Okay, now the pen's not working. Okay. Not to say pens run out of ink, but I've got there we go. We'll look that up. They caught your boy Biden weighing crack. I was weighing crack last week. Didn't have enough. I was weighing it last week. Didn't have enough. Like, hey, I ain't got enough for you. Well, how much you got? I'll buy everything you got. Like David Ruffin, give me all you got and go get some more. See that new Lincoln out there? Here's the title. Give me all you got. Go get some more. Mastery of breathing, concentration, meditation help people actualize and optimize anger management. Yeah. Biden your custo. Now he can get that good shit. He can get the good shit. Yeah, I agree, Magbone. You're right. Those are different ways to kind of come across it. No doubt. As I said, I learned a song very young. We've got to fight even though we want to cry. I thought that was perfect for football. When I played football, I was like, I learned that at the perfect time because that was it. Motherfucker whooping my ass, but shit, I ain't out of it and we ain't lost yet. And I may want to cry, but it ain't stopping me from going ahead. I don't know. I knew my abilities, and I knew that given the training that to my abilities, I had the abilities. I already knew I had the abilities. I showed that early on. I had the abilities. I was looking at this shit like I got the abilities, so it's gonna happen eventually. But other things got frustrated, especially college. Other things got frustrated. But hell, I think I'm gonna go back to college next year when I turn 62. Give me a degree in something. Ain't gonna cost me that much. So we starting to put that together now. Well, looks like that's time for me to go to bed. I said I put in 2 hours. That's what I put in. Um, Thank you guys for the participation. Thank you guys for tuning in. Text me, Brother Magbone, and I'll give you a call. I'm pretty sure I got your email still. I'll give you a call. But I do got to get some rest tonight. Relax. But it feels good. Get a little bit of this out. Yeah, we'll definitely look her up too, Sean. But Jody, let me know if you find anything. If not, I'll look into this too. So don't go to bed with the man. That's the way to be free. You don't go to bed with the man. Don't get into bed with the man. Not even for a minute. Because even if for a minute your stink is still there. So Tails in the way of the dragon, a path of the tiger. Dragon is the real complete and thorough man. Tigers is the real complete and thorough woman. A man without self-control is like a city broken in two and left without walls. Okay, that does not sound original. You've read that from somewhere, but I understand your point. I do understand your point. Gosh, there was some shit I wanted to say, and I think I forgot. Forgot this quickly. Maybe it'll come back. Maybe not. Maybe it won't come back. But like Edward was saying, just techniques. That's the idea. Is techniques of getting this emotion. Techniques of just being the higher you. You don't always have to be into your higher self, but learn to stay in your higher self long enough for you can achieve what you need to be achieved. If you understand. Because even your higher self is you. And the more times you can tap into that, the more successful some people can be. Proverbs, okay. I get it. Self-mastery is sovereignty. Yeah, that's true. I'll say to the point of true is, you should be your own master. That goes into attachments and things, and learn to burn off things. Learn to, if you can't burn off things, learn to acquire tools that'll burn things off you, so that your ideas are only your ideas, and emotion is truly your emotions. Because you can pick up attachments to get mad too, and the things that are happening make the attachment mad. Not necessarily you, but make the attachment mad. And because attachment is a part of you, the attachment is going to push emotion out of you. So you've got to learn to burn off attachments. Have the tools to burn off attachments. Do the things to keep them away from you. Learn the techniques of knowing your own thoughts, because that's knowing yourself. Because if some bullshit thought come from nowhere, it's an attachment thought. It's not your thought. So pick that up. As I say, you drive, you get all kind of bullshit like accident, scary. Oh, you get all those when you drive, and you've learned to ignore that. For most people, learn to ignore that kind of fear program. So learn to ignore it in the other aspects of your life too. Because driving, most people can ignore that. But it has to put that out there to tell you that this is a serious thing. That's why it puts the scary thing out there to tell you that what you're doing is serious. And it's surprising we can drive around each other and we don't kill each other more than what we do. Of all the things we do, it's surprising in mass numbers we don't kill each other more. Just like they would show in India, they'd show the roundabouts, no accidents, thousands of cars at a time. I mean, hundreds of cars coming around these roundabouts, nothing happening. No accidents, no nothing. Nobody getting hurt. It's the natural flow of driving. So, they caught your boy Biden doing stuff with. The word of God is not a book. It's the soul power, the power of God within one's real self. Well, you would have to come from source. No way you wouldn't come from source. That's why, my friend would ask me, do I believe in a higher power? I mean, there is source energy that obviously that is me and is not me. I mean, it's stronger than me, but yet I do come from that. So is that outside of me? Somewhat, but yet it is in me enough to understand that it is both. It is not totally, I am part of that as well. So now let me get a final words. And I say this, and I try to put you guys in the resting mode. Again, look at your bed. Your bed is a creation ball field bed, or the creation ball field. That's really what it is. It's the place for you to tap into creation as you rest. Safe place. So may you rest well. May your dreams be uninterrupted. May your dream screens be free. May you feel safe throughout the rest period. Those of you that have to work, may you work safely. May you arrive home safely and get the required rest that you need to be successful. And love just is. There's no equal. Love just is. And I end with more. A little bit of the time walking papers that I share almost every night. I pretty much share every night I go on. It all starts with a gentle sadness. They came from their original homeland. They knew that they had an exact number of years and days before they would disappear as a culture and a lifestyle, which is called civilization building. But the civilization would build into a gentle love. They lived in the Creator's day and knew how to separate cycles in the great serpent, which is the Milky Way. And as the mind would close, or as the mind would greet people, as they would greet people, I am another yourself. As I show you can laser blast beams and other realities like this, this is also the way of the greeting, the way of blocking things from you. This is the universal way of moving things. I know Bomber says this, yeah, it's more just this. That's why Spock did that. It's more just this. You can laser blast with one hand, but you can also greet with one hand. You can accept energies with one hand. That's why we would give 5. Then 5 became, actually it was high five. It was this at first. It wasn't just one hand, it was like this. Double high fives. That's how it came into be. So I am another yourself. And as you labor, remember, the days are long, but the years are short. From the words of Time Enough for Love with Robert Harley, that is true as true. The days are long, but the years fly by. And they make you think you're older. And that's one of the biggest spells that's put upon us. We're immortal beings, safe healing. Self-healing is God power. And we have those abilities. So thank you guys for joining me. Thank you guys for supporting me. Thank you guys for putting in the comments. Thank you guys for likes, subscribes, and shares. I appreciate all of it. So this has been the Chocolate Mountain Show. I've been your main man from Japan, Big Pontiac. Till we meet again, say less.